Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Ramen Relationships. I'm Rohit,
I'm Gauri.
and today we are talking about
Dating apps.
and are they healthy? So, Gauri, what do you think?
You the pro at this. I've never been on a dating app.
I have, and I do have views on it. There are pluses, there are minuses, but I remember when I just moved uh, downtown after my divorce, smack in the middle of COVID, and nobody was seeing anybody at that time. So, say about 8 to 9 months after the whole thing, I remember my cleaning lady, this one very nice French girl. She was doing her stuff, and I was talking to her, and she goes, "Are you on any dating apps?" And I said, "No." And she goes, "You seem like a nice man, so you have to be on dating apps." Next thing I know is she finished off her work, and she plonked herself next to me, and she goes, "Give me all the information." And she set up my profile on Tinder and on Bumble, as I recall. And that started off that journey into this so-called dating apps world. And even then, I mean, COVID really wasn't quite coming to an end. I mean, there was still a little bit of movement among people seeing each other, but dating apps were still the most popular. And I think a lot of that came from the fact that people over COVID, especially the single ones, they had gotten lonely. And I don't really think that everyone was looking for a permanent relationship, although some might be, or a hookup, but I think they needed companionship. And that's the first thing that I found. And I did have a rather surprising introduction to the world of dating apps because she was working in the afternoon and she went back home. And by night, I had like, four messages on one of these two.
On the day you created your
On the day I
profile,
created, yeah. So
right.
this was in the afternoon, and
Right.
then in the evening I got these. And the first one was, "Nice to meet you." I said, "Nice to meet you." And she goes, "So what are you doing tonight?" So I'm like, "That's quick." So I said, "Nothing much. It's COVID. I'm at home." So she goes, "Should I come over?" And I'm like, "No, I don't think so, because I just don't know you." And she goes, "It's okay. I don't charge much." A lot of them are hookers. Anyway, put that aside. In the year or so that followed, I did engage myself in the dating app and all, and taking a look at it, seeing profiles, going into it. On the whole, to cut a long story short, and I cannot speak for everyone. I can only speak for myself. In my view, dating apps have been a huge disappointment for a number of reasons. And the biggest one being the level of authenticity or inauthenticity is shocking. So as I go about talking about the dating apps, my opinions, Gauri unfortunately doesn't have much to contribute.
No,
But I'm
I
sure
think
you
the
have but you can contribute in terms of your views on how
Absolutely.
things go, right?
Absolutely.
So of course, I was only privy to the female profiles. I mean, I wasn't looking at men's profiles. And when I was going through that, there were a few things that I just found good, and there were some things that I found unacceptable. The good thing was that uh, I did meet a lot of people there. I would say I think I must have met like 8 to 10 women. I don't know if that's a lot or less. I mean, depending on your capacity to, be on the dating apps. Maybe I'm a amateur. I guess I am. And towards the end, if I have to just summarize the whole thing, nothing really came out of it because I just didn't find the connect with everyone. That said, I did make two or three very good friends in the process. And I was friends with them for the longest time after that. So I guess there is a silver lining to the whole thing. On the other side, if I have to look at the dating apps, which is the online world, versus the offline world, where you meet people the conventional sense. Either in clubs or you meet them in social gatherings, you meet them at events, you meet them, socially or through friends and all. Call me old school, but I would much rather have that in my life than dating apps. And I have my reasons for that. First is, and both, so I'm speaking as a man, but I'm sure if there's any woman who's watching this will also agree with me on this one. The level of lies is incredible. And what's insane is the things that people find to lie about. So, let me know if you agree with me on this one. Age, I mean, stupid as hell thing to do. Why would you lie about your age? So there'd be somebody, who'd say, I'm 52, or I'd say, I'm 46. And when you talk to them on the phone, and they're like, I'm not actually 46, I'm actually 48. Why not just say you're 48?
Right.
She goes, well, then you wouldn't have swiped. She goes, I was hoping my personality would, connect me with somebody. I mean, not necessarily me, but somebody else. So those are the tactics to establish contact. And the other one, the most obvious one that I think everyone has been through, are the pictures. Barely anybody posts their current pictures. They'll post pictures. I mean, the ones that I was talking to, there was one girl. She was from Jordan, and she posted the picture, and she looked nice, and her profile seemed nice. I swiped right, and she got back, and we started talking. And I said, you do look nice. And she goes, no, I've been looking horrible. I said, no, I said, I've seen your pictures, they're nice. And she goes, oh, those are 8 years old. For the record, I did meet her. And those pictures were 8 years old. I think she was lying about that. They were probably 12 years old. So people lie about that. What else do you think people would lie about?
I think overall, what I've heard from you, it's just the insecurities which come out because no one's judging you online.
Yeah. But
But
what are the things that you think people will lie about on their profiles?
other than age and pictures,
Age and pictures.
I think it's who I am. You would probably create a profile which will attract the other person to just see who you really are. But
Fair enough. But
you
then
may not really
one
be
can expect that to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
Even my profile.
as you said, there's nothing authentic. I mean, there is a doubt of what is authentic about you.
No. I wouldn't say that it's all inauthentic, but some of the things just crossed a certain boundary. So by the same token, I had a lot of friends over there, local downtown Toronto friends, and there were women there as well. So they had their own views about online profile. And by the way, men are just as guilty as women on these things. All right, but I will admit that men lie about on their profile about one thing that women don't generally tend to:
Interesting.
their height. What a thing to lie about. You're lying about your height. So this one very, very dear friend of mine, and she met this guy online in one of these sites. And they said, okay, let's meet up at a certain place over coffee. And she's sitting up there, so she arrived before him. And lo and behold, a man appears, and he claimed to be, he says, I'm not very tall. He goes, I'm about 5 feet 5 inches. Now, she was about 5 feet 3. And she was, okay, 5 feet 5. I can live with that, if the guy has a good personality. If the guy is a good guy, it's fine. The guy was 5 feet 2. So she goes, I'm sure that I'm 5 feet 3. So when I'm seeing a guy who's one is shorter than me, he's definitely not 5 feet 5. So she goes, why did you lie about your height? He goes, because I've always been conscious about it. Well, you could be conscious and still be honest. And then she goes, I spent the entire evening wondering, what else is he lying about?
I guess it takes a lot of courage to be honest, all right?
Oh, yeah, but I mean, tomorrow, if, okay, you are on a dating site. You want to have an established relationship with somebody or a casual relationship with somebody. At some point in time, you're going to meet the other person.
But I think the ones who would lie about the age, okay, this is my uh, take that it's clearly, I mean, if you're looking for something serious, you won't lie. It's clearly that I'm looking for something
No,
casual
a lot of
or
people, no, a lot of people are just looking for something casual. I mean, they say
so
so.
that over there lies is accepted, no? Because it doesn't really
Why
matter.
is it accepted?
It's accepted because casual hai. It doesn't matter whether you're 2 inches shorter or whether you are, whoever you are, whatever
The reason it
age it
matters is
is.
because if you're lying from the get go, what else
Right.
are you lying about?
But that's why I don't know how many relationships have really materialized into something serious through this. I mean, that's my question. I'm clueless.
No, so I have known people who've had relationships materialize, and good for them. In fact, I have more respect for those people who've met online because, all said and done, committing to a relationship online where the basis is online
Right.
takes a huge leap of faith. Despite all the dangers that we've just mentioned right now, for you to still have that faith in the other person and say, you know what, I'm going to give it my best shot. And then these relationships, when they work out beautifully, it's awesome.
Right.
So I have a lot of respect for these relationships that have actually worked out. But then, at the same time, if you look at the plain numbers, I mean, every single woman in our group that was there, of both men and women, and even in India, same thing. I have yet to hear a single case where they said that they found someone who was just right for them. Now, maybe they had found someone who was right for them, but they weren't right for the other person.
Right.
All right. So, but if you're just looking at these dating sites as a way to meet people, I would say, you know what, you've exhausted all the other avenues, or they've rather not worked for you. Like when the COVID ended, we used to go for walks and around the lake, and we used to have a group of people, like anywhere from 12 to 20 people used to get together. We used to go for walks, and I remember there was this one girl that I met over there, just another one person through social circles, through the Facebook group that we have. And she was a Polish girl, had a very, very strong Polish accent. So I had to ask her every question twice. But a wonderful person. And the whole group is walking. So as the whole group is walking, you're talking. You're walking, you're talking. And we weren't friends on Facebook or anything. We used to just meet during that walking trip.
Right.
And at that time, after COVID had ended, you just want someone that you kind of like. You're not looking to get married to somebody. You're not looking for something casual. Also, at least not in my
Right.
case. But I just found her to be a wonderful person, and we used to go for walks, and then we used to go off on a tangent and go see a few museums and stuff like that. I found that to be more relatable. Something that I was more inclined towards because that was real.
Right.
I mean, I could see her.
You can feel her energy. You can feel, you create a vibe together. I think
Yeah.
all that is so beautiful. Yeah.
We never touched each other, never held hands, nothing. But we enjoyed each other's company a lot,
Right.
despite the fact that I had trouble understanding what she was saying. And you know what the irony is? The irony is, I asked her, I said, what do you do for a living? And I swear to God, she could have toppled me over with a finger. She said, I'm an English teacher. I'm like, really? like, I'm like, I said, for who? She goes, all the new immigrants coming into Canada. Canada's doomed. But then she had to go back to Poland permanently, to be with her father. And she said she wanted to resolve issues with her brother, which made me respect her even more. So there were no pretenses.
She was a real
She
person.
was a real person in 3D in front of me. Talk whatever you want to. In the dating world, it's just so much of talk and text and talk
Right.
and text, and you never really know at what point do you even know a person.
True.
I mean, there was one girl. She was a bus driver for a children's school, and she had the most infectious laugh ever. and super light-hearted and all. Great. We got along well. Uh, After I think about 5 or 6 times of talking, we decided, kind of without even saying it, that clearly there's no spark between us. But then we remained as friends, and that's exactly what happened to 4 or 5 others
And how did you meet her?
through the
Through the
dating
dating
app.
app.
Yeah, through
Okay.
the dating app.
Right.
But then you figure it out, and of course you also meet weirdos, and I'm sure all of us have met weirdos, and I'm just sharing my experiences. There was
I'm hearing
one
them.
there was one girl, high-powered corporate executive, and she says, let's go out for dinner. I'm like, okay, and I'm not kidding you. So we went out for dinner. We're sitting on the table, and I picked out a nice fancy restaurant. It was an Italian restaurant, and she starts drinking, and I get my glass of wine, and I'm on my first glass, and she's on the fourth glass, and she's dunking them down like it's water, and every goddamn glass is like $16. So I can literally see the bills flying out of my wallet. We had barely begun to talk. And at that time, I knew. I said, you know what, this is not going to end well. Never heard from her after that. So, which brings me to the point. When you have all these dates, share your opinions with us on this one. When you have these dates, what should be the protocol? Like, should the guy foot the bill? Do you go Dutch on the first date? Or what? What do you think? How should it be?
I'd say now in today's world, you can go Dutch. I mean, we are equal. I'm looking for a relationship as much as you are,
Right? But
right?
interestingly, when we used to get into conversations, when we used to go to nightclubs and bars and all, I would say 80% of the women said that they expect the guy to pay on the first date. And the words they used were, it's showing chivalry. I don't entirely agree with that. To a certain extent, I would. I mean, if it's coming from a woman who's well settled, who is got a good head on her shoulders, who appreciates a man being a man and a woman being a woman, if she says it's chivalry, I will buy her. I will buy her story, or I will buy her sentiment. But if you can see from the face that she's nothing more than a gold digger, now she's using chivalry as a
Excuse.
excuse. And that doesn't fly well with guys. Now, again, guys aren't stupid. Even they can identify that.
Absolutely.
But I think what's happened is that the dating apps thing, I think, has just given people unrealistic expectations of what they can achieve.
In what way do you say that?
The marketing has been so strong, it's been so fanatical. And clearly, who are the people who are now flocking to all the dating apps? Who are the ones who are interacting the most, spending the most money on buying credits? Women don't buy credits, it's the men who buy credits, right? In most cases. So, also makes me wonder, where are all the feminists who say that we are equal to men? So, well, they can't be seen anymore. They're quite okay. They're very happy having men buy the credits, and then go on a date and say, I'm a feminist. I believe that men and women are equal.
Right.
Yeah, right. So anyway, but to me, it indicates that you've exhausted all the options possible, and now you're looking at something else. Now, one way of looking at it is that they're saying, okay, I couldn't find the right person on these channels, but I'm not giving up hope on love. It's a very valid point. I mean, there are some really really nice women who deserve a good man, and they've not been that lucky or fortunate in getting it from the traditional avenues, but they haven't given up on finding somebody. So they've gone on this channel because, I mean,
I mean, if you were on that side, obviously, clearly there will be other women, but I think majority, because it's reliability is a little lower, right? In that, because you don't know who's really being the
it is
authentic
very
self, right?
low.
Very
It's very
low.
low.
So the ones who are emotionally intelligent, I think, would stay away from it.
Yeah. And see, again, whenever you're dating in any scenario, when you meet for the first time, second time, third time, you're not really meeting the person.
Right.
You're meeting their representative. It's a person
Yeah, I
that the
get
other
what you're
one
saying.
wants to show you that this is what I want you to believe that I am. Whether they are the person or not, only time will tell. But at that point in time, they just want you to believe that, you know what, I'm the one for you. Or I'm fantastic. Whatever the case might be, depending on their level of ego. Goes both ways, men and women. All these men who pretend to be chivalrous and all, they're not that in real life.
Anything that you can buy, I guess, is written, right? The
Sorry?
truth, anything that you can buy, matlab, anything that's written, and if you buy it, you know, that's how it is. But
Yeah.
eventually, if you have half a brain, you know.
So the other interesting thing is, we used to have conversations in a group of friends, and we used to talk about dating sites and all these things. So I got a lot of feedback, both out there and out here, as to how people are seeing the other person on a dating app. Yeah, women make up stuff just as much as men do. Okay. Now, what is it when you, when you look at a woman's profile, when you look at enough women's profiles, the one thing, especially when I look at, let's say, Indian women, because when I came back, I was living in Gurgaon. Today, I'm in Bangalore, and the one thing that they like is long walks on the beach. गुड़गांव में बीच नहीं है ना ही बैंगलोर में कोई बीच है okay. There is no such concept as long walks on the beach, and I don't know one man who enjoys long walks on the beach. I know I'm being a bit mean out here, but men only put that in the profile so it appeals to the woman. They don't like it, and they have no plans on going for any long walks on the beach.
And maybe not with a woman, they'd rather go alone.
Right. So that's the one big lie that's out there, long walks on the beach. I love reading. I No, they just say they love reading.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think that's the thing about online. You can be whoever you want to be. No one's coming and checking.
You
And
can be whoever you.
I mean, you can write
Yeah.
anything. I mean, farak hi kya padta hai?
Exactly.
I mean, the ones, it's clearly, I mean, everyone who wants to get into a relationship, I mean, we are into confidence and personality building, let's be honest. If you ask someone, how do you define yourself? How do you describe yourself? How many women have been comfortable even describing themselves with? Not many.
No.
Not
Correct.
many, right? So, agar if you're so confident that this is my profile, that's my first doubt. Ouch. I hope I'm not being a bitch, but I'm just speaking the truth.
So speaking of that, the one thing that I noticed, and I cannot say the same thing for the women because I can't access the men's profiles, but it is true by and large. When I used to go through all the women's profiles, so there were certain similarities that I saw over there. And the women were very clear on what they wanted from the man.
Right.
Okay?
And what were the things that a woman
I'm telling
wanted?
you, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Should be well settled, should be tall. Okay? If I'm this height, then the guy has to be this height. All right? First of all, that itself seems a bit ingenuous to disingenuous to me because if you are, let's say, 5'8", but you want a man who's 6 feet, but in what follows, must be honest, has a sense of humor, ready for commitment, all these things. Now, a man who's 5'9" is not qualified. So, are you that shallow that simply because a guy has 3 or 4 inches who's taller than you is going to be the one that you'll consider, but the hundreds of other men who are perfectly suited for you, but they happen to be 1 inch shorter than you, are disqualified? What does that say about you?
I think it should
That
be
you are putting
more.
that insane amount of focus on looks,
Yeah, yeah.
on aesthetics, right? Must be good looking. You know what? In 20 years, none of us are going to be good looking. What are you going to do then? Divorce him? And number three, I want this, I want this, I want a non smoker, this is a deal breaker. Fine, have your limits, not a problem out there. But what the one thing missing, and I find this stark, barely 1% of the women mentioned Okay, fine, this is what I want out of a man, but this is what I'm willing to bring to the table in return for that man who possesses all these qualities. So if I'm a man reading all this, so I know here's exactly what she wants from me, but there's no mention of what she's willing to give me. You want a man with a sense of humor, do you have a sense of humor? You
Well,
want a man who's adventurous, are you adventurous? You want a man who's protective and a caretaker and all those things, are you that person? I want a man of integrity, are you a woman of integrity? So why don't you spend half the space in your profile talking about what you are willing to bring to the table? For me, if I'm looking at that profile, I will read that profile at least 3 times. And then maybe I'll be inclined to engage in that profile. But if I'm only hearing a wish list of some woman who's only so concerned about what she wants and doesn't give a rat's ass about what she's willing to give back, I don't think I'm going to be swiping anywhere on her.
I also think, Rohit, you're coming from a serious space where you were willing to settle down. Certain people are just
No,
putting
but
it
Dolly, I
there.
wasn't willing to settle down.
See, matlab, settle down, matlab, you were looking for a companion, right?
I was looking for a
correct.
credible
So,
companion.
fair enough.
Let
So
me put it that way.
I would say, okay,
Yeah.
that's what I meant. So if you're looking for a companion, I think the people over here who are faking it would say, let's meet. If things happen, they'll work anyway. My lies is not really affecting. It's only the first instance, right? Whether you like me or you don't, I'm ready to catch your attention with my lies, and then we'll take it as it goes,
A lot of women do that.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, obviously, since I'm not on it, I'm just thinking from how they would be approaching this.
True. So the other thing was, again, these are all conversations that used to come up, and 20 of us were talking, like, maybe 10 girls and 10 guys. And, just it was lighthearted evenings that we used to have, over drinks, talking about our experiences with the apps and all those things. And the other thing was, it was mostly women who said that I want a man who is ready for marriage. Okay, that statement. So we did actually did a little poll of all those 10 guys there. How many of you said that you want a woman for marriage? So out of the number of times this question was posed in all the different groups, I think there was only one guy that I remember, just one, who said that yes, I've got that in my profile.
That I'm looking for marriage.
I'm looking only for marriage. Whereas a lot of the other women said, yeah, we have that as a prerequisite. Now, if I have to look at the whole thing carefully, fine, you're looking for marriage. But you only want the guys who are looking for marriage. I don't know if that's a realistic
I think
thing.
it's a way of putting out that I'm serious about a relationship. Only if you're serious, then we meet. It should lead us into.
The point is that, look, at that stage, I wasn't looking for marriage. I was at best looking for a companion.
So then you don't fit into those.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
However, who's to say that I find the right person and then I might change my mind? Then the other one was not into one night stands, which is perfectly all right. I have no problem with that
That's
statement.
clarity.
That's clarity, and I respect that. Okay, not into casual dating. That is a confusing one. How do you define casual dating? I mean, you do date, no? Sometimes you go back home, sometimes you end up in somebody's place, depending on what your limits are. All right. But there's no such hard stuff as casual dating. One night stands is clear. And again, I'm talking from a man's perspective. And men are relatively simpler creatures than women. Because when a woman says something, it can be so loaded. Okay, and we will not see it coming from a mile out. But yeah, so I think those things need to be more clear. I mean, I would say the ideal profile in all the dating apps is, here is a picture of me taken in the last 6 months. Here's my expectations. Here's who I am.
Right.
If you want to feel comfortable saying, this is what I do, say it.
Right.
depending on your level of comfort in what you want to disclose. This tall, these are my religious beliefs. In case you are inclined religiously, okay, would you entertain somebody else who's from a different faith? Give the other person clarity, and then
Yeah, and I think any relationship that's based out of honesty, I think, at least,
correct,
yeah.
exactly, honesty. And oh my God, one more thing, which
He's
used to
ranting.
drive me bananas. I again don't know from what men post on their profiles because I have not seen those profiles. I clearly said I'm straight. I'm looking for a woman. I cannot understand, and forget Canada. I'm talking about India, and it boggles my mind to see profiles of women who will post just one picture on their profile, and it's a picture of a flower or some Guruji or Sai Baba. If I'm looking at the profile, do you really expect me to say, that's the girl for me? She likes roses. I can't wait to see her. I just I just don't know what to make out of those. Why do you do that? Why do you do that? And then there are some women who'll only post a picture of the dog. Am I dating you or am I dating the dog?
I'm a dog lover. Do you like me?
I'm not seeing you, I'm just seeing your dog. And even the dog is confused. Like, what am I doing on a dating profile? Poor guy. So I get that you're being very nuanced, you're being very sensitive about the whole thing. But come on, I mean, show yourself. If you don't want to show yourself, but you want some guy to swipe right, trust me, he's not swiping because he's totally into you. He's got nothing to show for into being with you. I mean, your profile can't be all that powerful that he'll see a picture of a rose, read your profile, and say, I want to meet her. I don't think that's ever happened. That's another one of those things.
Maybe they're unsure. That's exactly why they're not putting the pictures. At least the other ones
Then
were
don't
putting
go on
8 years.
these dating sites.
Agreed, but we're talking about the different circumstances that people would be putting the profiles on Tinder and Bumble or whatever those sites are.
Yeah, and nowadays there are classifications. So you want to hook up this Tinder, you want something more serious in this Bumble.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, what is your final take, Rohit? Said? What are people who are watching this getting?
My final my final take may or may not resonate with some people. It may resonate with others. But again, this is a show where we're just expressing our own personal opinions. And frankly, if you ask me, I think it's a waste of time. Uh, by all means, if you want, you can be there. Once in a while, you just might meet somebody interesting. And you know what? It may not turn into anything romantic. Just the way I've found friends there. There's nothing wrong with finding new friends.
Yeah.
I mean, not everybody is the kind of a person who's interested in going to nightclubs or parties and all
Right.
that. So at least that shouldn't stop you from meeting new people. So I think these sites are a great avenue for that.
Right.
So I'll give them credit where it's due. So if I'm an introverted kind of a person, you will never see me dead in a nightclub or at one of those, parties and all these things. Or even if I have to go to the parties, I don't have the kind of a personality which is that exuberant, extroverted personality that I can just go and talk to somebody. For me, these are great avenues. And I think, if you have the personality, I would highly recommend that you actually go on these dates because you might find other people who have of the same mindset who'll say, you know what, yeah, I mean, this is the right way for me to meet you. So I think in that respect,
Yeah.
it's a great platform for people to meet who are like-minded in the way they think, right? But if you are just using that as a hunting ground for time pass, well, you know what? You're actually going to get what you deserve. So, yeah, and it goes both ways. Not all the men out there are serious. Some men want companionship, some men just want sex. And by the same count goes exactly the same for women as well. It's not that men only want one thing. Well, you know what? Even women want only one thing also sometimes. So it's gone both ways. But if you have that bent of mind, that you only want something casual without committing to it, then don't turn around and say bad stuff about the dating site, because the dating site itself hasn't done anything wrong. I mean, it's like, consider that, I mean, as an example, like a phone.
Right.
You can use a phone to call up your best friend, and you can use a phone to harass somebody. It's just a tool. Depends on how you use it.
True.
So you can use it the right way, but I would say that the more honesty, the more authenticity is there, you'll get what you want faster without wasting your time on all the junk. There's so much junk there. There's so much junk there.
So it's bad news, basically.
No, it's good news and bad news. It depends on what you are, what you want out of that
Yeah,
platform.
yeah. I get what
You
you're
know,
saying.
there are a lot of people, like the first day, I got hookers.
Yeah.
So what if I was to say, what is just a platform for hookers? I'd be wrong. Because in the months that came along, I made friends. I never got involved romantically with anybody. But I met
So
women over
when you
coffee
were
and
making
drinks.
friends with these women, what attracted you towards clicking on the profile?
The profile itself. I mean, just the way they. Okay, first of all, personal thing, it may not be a big deal for other people. If a person is writing their profile down and they're using you instead of
Language.
YOU, no way on earth am I ever communicating. It's just a personal beef that I have with that thing. Okay, if you are that lazy that you can't even type out YOU instead of just the letter U, nah, not going to work for me. And use apostrophes, use periods, use proper English. That tells me a person is educated and they are willing to make the effort to. They respect their own self. That is one. Number two, the pictures. The pictures a person posts say a lot about what they think about themselves. We've been in all these WhatsApp groups where people will just good morning and they'll just post selfies of themselves. I don't want any of those people in my life.
Yeah.
I just think it's terrible.
Rohit, nowadays you have Chat GPT which can create your profile.
Yeah, but not my
So
picture.
yeah, I know. I'm just saying that.
But even with ChatGPT, for someone who knows what ChatGPT can do, you can make out a real profile. And
That's
how
true.
long? And how
That's
long will
true.
that profile carry you? See, the point is, in all these dating sites, your profile will only carry you up to a point when you meet the person. After that, your profile be damned. Let's say if I was to meet you through Bumble or whatever it is, and let's say we say, okay, let's meet up for coffee. Once we meet up for coffee, there is no reason for me to go
Yeah,
back
to
into
go
your
ahead.
profile anymore, because now I've met you in
You
person.
moved on, yeah.
So the end result of all these dating sites is that initiate a contact, whether it's through a phone or a text or a real meeting. I believe in meeting face to face. I think that's the most authentic thing, right? And once you do that, that's it. So at least let your profile be as authentic. So when you finally meet the person, that matches up with what you've written, which shows that yeah, I said this is who I am, and here is who I am. Not I said
Yeah.
I'm a tiger, and turns out I'm a goat. So don't change your species
Yeah,
completely.
yeah.
That's what I feel.
Great.
So there are good sides and there are bad sides to your dating apps. Use them carefully. By the way, I came across this one fine gentleman. Uh, and that time I was relatively new to this dating thing. I think it must have been like maybe a couple of months since I had my profile up out there. And he said, just chill. I'll tell you how to use these. So he goes, number one, and I'm not kidding, that's exactly the advice I got on how to use these dating sites. He says, what do I do at night? Because I come back from work, I open up whatever site there is, Tinder, Bumble, whatever, these things. And he goes, I just go out there and I start swiping right. Everybody.
Accept. Right is accepting.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right is accepting. Yeah, swipe left is, yeah, swipe right. So he goes, I just go swiping right on everybody. I said, without looking at anything. He goes, no, nothing. He goes 100, 200 swipes right. I'll do. He goes, then I'll go to sleep. Then the next morning, I'll see who are the ones who've swiped right on me.
Oh,
And the ones who have, then I'm going to go and look at their profiles.
interesting.
So there's a science to this, I guess, and there are tactics that people use.
So interesting.
I've never been into one of those.
You weren't even meant
I
to
kind of
do
look at the
that, right?
profile, and I'm like, but yeah, I mean, it was fun. I met some seriously interesting characters out there, clowns. I think we all have met them. I think the women have met them, the men have met them. And yeah, I mean, it does add a bit of spice to life, all said and done. Like when you get a swipe right from another very, very attractive member of the opposite sex, you do kind of feel nice about yourself.
Maybe I should just create one
For what?
profile for myself to just experience.
You'll get 5,000 swipes in a day. You won't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, so that's our views on dating sites. Are they harmful? No, I don't think they're harmful. They can serve a purpose as long as you know how to use them. I mean, think of them as a tool. If you know how to use the tool well, you'll do something good with it. If you don't know how to use the tool well, you'll hurt yourself with it. So there are ups and downs. But yeah, I mean, if you really have some value for your time and yourself, be authentic on the sites. I mean, why would you lie about something that the other person will find out to be a lie down the line, even on the first meeting? The guy's lying about their height or the pictures. I mean, I'm looking at you right now, and if I just hold up my phone and say, "Is this you?" They're two very different people. So
So this episode is an educational one from Rohit,
I don't think so. It's just an
trying to
anecdotal
make your
one.
Bumble and Tinder profiles better.
For consulting services, call. And that brings us to the end of our episode. As usual, you know where to contact us. Stay with us, connect with us, follow us. If you like a certain episode, which you might want to discuss with some friends of yours, share it. And, subscribe so we're in touch more often.
We'd love to know what you think.
So typically we toss out one episode every Friday. Unfortunately, due to some other circumstances, we weren't able to drop one episode a week back. But now we're back on track again. And there'll be one every Friday for you. And if there are any episode titles that you want us to address, any issues, the ones that maybe you've been wrestling with, let us know. We'll be more than happy to talk about it.
Absolutely.
So till we meet next week, it's goodbye from me, Rohit, and
Corey, good night.
good night and stay well.